Welcome guys. So in this lecture we are going to learn one more very important topic, and almost in every interview you can face this question: is the difference between relative xpath and absolute xpath. Okay, so before starting this topic, let me tell you one thing, that here I'm not going to give you any theoretical answer. Okay, what I'll give is a real-time example with real-time answer. So let's start with a relative xpath. So when I say relative xpath, that means you can directly identify the element to the specific location. Okay, so now let's assume that we want to automate this field, this search option, and let's see how to get XPath for this field. Okay, just right click on that field, go to inspect element, and you can see a blue highlighted line for this field. Okay, so that means here what we are doing. So before that, let me open ChroPath, as we see how to use ChroPath in our previous lecture. Okay, so let's come back to our point. So what we are doing, we are directly jumping to that location rather than traversing these nodes, right? So just try to understand, we are not traversing from here. Okay, so we are directly jumping to that field with the help of name attribute. Okay, so here if you see in Cropa, there are three type of selector. In my last lecture I have discussed about these things. Okay, so with the help of this name attribute, we are directly jumping to this location for this search option. Okay, so if you just copy this r- relative XPath and just paste it in notepad, you can see this is the relative XPath. Okay, where we are not traversing from this node, we are directly jumping to this blue highlighted line, and we are getting our XPath, right? Understood. So with the name attribute, with the help of name attribute, we are directly jumping to this location. So when we use a specific location to identify a element without depending on parent nodes, is called relative XPath. Okay, I repeat, when we use a specific location to identify the element directly without depending on parent nodes, is called relative XPath. Okay, so now one question is there: what is parent nodes? Okay, so now we know what is relative XPath, right? So parent node is, see, uh, what is the parent node of this? Okay, so you don't need to do anything, just close this tag. Okay, if you feel that when you close like one more tags before your blue highlighted line code, and it is your blue highlighted line is going inside the tab, that means this is the parent class of this input tag. Okay, so every node has their parent class till body. Okay, till body means till this much. Okay, so these all are nodes. Okay, div style, these all are nodes. So where we are now, yes, we are here. So the parent node of this is this one, right? So this div has also its parent nodes. See, if you close this div, it will close this div. That means this div will go inside to this div. Okay, to this node. If you click this, whole thing will go inside this div. That means this is the parent for this all. Okay, and this is the parent for this all. If you go up, you will get grand node, and top of that you will get so on. Okay, so now we know relative XPath. That means we are directly jumping to that particular location, and we are getting our XPath. So now what is absolute XPath? Okay, so absolute XPath, we will traverse to the specific location with the help of node, with the help of parent node. Okay, so if you notice if you concentrate on this search option, and if you see this relative xpath, it's only simple, right? It's very simple, and it start with the tag of input and attribute with the name. Okay, now if we copy this relative xpath for the same, you can see it will start from body, and it will go like node by node it will traverse. Okay, so if you see. Okay, so it starts from HTML, and after that, slowly one by one, it has traversed, through node, body, div, from, and one last one is input. Okay, you can see last one is input, right? So, this is the like difference between relative XPath and absolute XPath. Okay, so relative XPath does not depend on nodes, right? And absolute XPath depends on parent nodes. Correct. So this is the basic difference between relative XPath and absolute XPath. Okay. So you might get a question in interview how to write relative XPath and how to write absolute XPath. So relative XPath is very easy. Just right click on that, and when you get a blue highlighted line, just directly you know how to write XPath for this, right? And when you get when interviewer will ask you to write absolute expert, that time you have to traverse from parent node. Okay, so first what you need to search first for writing absolute expert, you have to search what is the parent node of this blue highlighted line. So one is very I'll show you the very simple way to get your parent node is, see this, when you take your cursor on this blue highlighted line, it will show only this much. Okay, but your search button is this fully, right? Just take your cursor top of that blue highlighted line, you can see it is styled. Okay, that means this border, whatever green color border you were seeing, this is okay. Take your cursor one more, top, you can get only that much, top of only this search icon, and top of this whole and this one. Okay, so that means we can say this is our parent node. Okay, so and you can see one tag which is open, and if you close this tag, you can see this whole nodes, whatever nodes you can see are open, it will go inside this main node. Okay, okay, let's see whether it will go or not. If you just click on that, you can see these whole nodes are going inside this main div node. Okay, so that means this is the main node, this is the main parent class of this node, of this div node. Okay, so if we want to start, we can start from here, and slowly we can traverse till input tag. Okay, so this is how we need to identify absolute xpath and relative xpath, right? So I guess you understood these two topic, relative xpath and absolute xpath, and please concentrate, because this type of question definitely will get in your interview panel. Okay, so if you have any queries or if you have any issues, please reach me out at pratikkumarnag@gmail.com. Okay, so thank you.